Hi, it's Georgia Lane from ANZ Wealth and Jess Gwynne from Client Kiosk, and today we're going to be talking about why should I outsource. Now, I know that many of you are so incredibly busy and you want to do so much more in your business but just don't have the time. And so what we're talking about is how to and who to go to outsource. Jess, over to you.
I think possibly the best reason to outsource is time. Anyone says that they don't have enough time in their business or their life, so that's why we say outsourcing is key. And the other thing that you can do with outsourcing is pretty much save money. So while you can outsource to individuals, you can also outsource to companies who are experts in a particular field.
Okay, yeah, I get that. You certainly can't be an expert in every area of your business, so it makes sense. Who do we outsource to, though?
There's a few different online companies, I suppose, or online services where you can outsource to individuals directly. So something like odesk.com, where you can outsource to anything. So you can look at admin, you can look at marketing, you can do accounting, you can do design, pretty much anything you could possibly imagine that you would want done that you might not know how to do. You can pretty much find someone on Odesk to do it for you. The flip side of the coin is that you might want someone who's a little bit more of an expert in what you're trying to do, and particularly perhaps sometimes here in Australia as someone who knows our economy and our way of doing business, where you might then to look to outsource to a company in Australia to do a certain part of your business for you.
Okay, and you mentioned before saving money. So how can you actually save money by outsourcing? I thought, we would have to pay money to outsource.
Yeah, so you do. So you're obviously paying someone to do something for you, but I guess it comes to economies of scale to people who you're outsourcing to. So again, they get to be an expert in a field and just concentrate on one part of a business or a task, which means that they can do it cheaper for you than perhaps that someone in-house would do for you. Take, for example, and I'll use Client Kiosk because that's what I do. We can do marketing for someone at about a quarter of the cost that hiring someone for the year would be. So that's where you save your money.
Can you give me an example, Jess, of the type of tasks that you could outsource very easily, I guess, just to get us started?
Yeah. So I'll give you a few different examples. So if you're looking at administration, you might do things like your filing. It's generally all online these days. So filing things away, going through your email inbox and clearing it out for you before you get in for the day, which could be good for some of us. Responding to emails if it's quite simple, responding to inquiries if it's quite simple, that sort of thing. Perhaps then if you're looking at marketing, basically anything that's online can be outsourced. So all of your social media can be outsourced, digital marketing, data entry as well. So or data research. So if you're looking for new prospects, that can all be outsourced. Then you might look into along the lines of accounting. Strangely, there's a lot of people in the Philippines that have bachelors of accounting and are doing a lot of the accounting services for Australia now, and they can do things like with Xero.com, the online accounting package. They can do all your accounts for you, and then you just tick them off at the end of the day. There's pretty much anything you can think of can be outsourced.
Okay, so what, in your experience, you've obviously done a fair bit of outsourcing. How do you get the most out of your virtual private assistants?
It's really about being direct about what it is that you want and being really consistent in following up and also in giving tasks as well. So looking at, say, a virtual private assistant, it's exactly the same as having someone in the office with you, so you need to give them all of the direction that they need, but they might be on the other side of the world. So starting with things like giving a really full task list. I tend to do it for a week and say these are all the tasks that need to be completed this week, but then of course there's always going to be ad hoc things that come along, and you let them know where the priority is during the week on what to do.
How do I know how much to pay a virtual private assistant?
It's a funny one, and it's something that is quite hotly debated, and I can see both sides of the coin where they say, it's so cheap, it's unfair that it's that cheap and it's sending jobs out of Australia. But on the other side of the coin is you really need to, this is a global marketplace now, they're sort of starting to say that the world is flat and you can go anywhere. So you need to make sure that your business is as profitable as possible so that you can give the best prices to your clients. So looking at that, there's a virtual private assistant can start at something like $3 US an hour, and can go up to, depending on where they come from in the world, can go up to $50 to $20 US an hour. Generally, you pay in US dollars as well on the sites.
And when talking about payment, what do you think is the most secure method to pay these people so that it is safe?
Odesk is excellent in that it runs with an escrow system.
Okay.
So you will pop the money in to start with, but you don't actually release it to them until you're really happy with the work that's done. And it's all done through an online payment gateway that's completely secure. So the person who's working for you doesn't actually get your details. And Odesk, a large company, they've had no issues of any security breaches or anything, so it's really safe.
Okay. So that's great. That's some really good tips on why I should outsource. Have you got any final tips for advisors on why they should outsource?
Mainly, don't stress about it. It's something that you shouldn't need to know everything about how to do everything in your business. So don't feel like it's a failure if you need to have someone else do it for you, because at the end of the day, it's going to make life easier for you and probably more profitable.
Great. Thanks, Jess.
My pleasure.